Hello, everybody.
I had to do it again.
Yeah,
I did
no.
it last time. Okay, that's the last time I ever do that. All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Strangers and Exiles podcast. I'm Daniel Turek, your host. This is my co-host, Daniel Turek Sr.
God bless you all in the sweet, beautiful name of Jesus Christ, the Lord and Savior of this world. God bless you.
Amen.
Thank God today is the last day we talk about Buddhism.
Yep. And getting into it now is when we're going to start talking about the weird, like, flying meditation, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, everything we're going to talk about now is like the meditative practice.
Yeah.
Which is the meat and potatoes of it all. You know, this is how you eventually get out of this suffering, this samsara state that you're in. This is how you ultimately reach your nirvana, how you finally get out of this world. These Buddhists really don't like their lives. Everything is suffering, and all their whole thing is they just need to get out of this suffering. We just came from my mom's house, and I didn't suffer at all. I mean, she made some fire bacalao a la vizcaína. For those that don't know it, that is salt cod in a Cuban red sauce. She made fritura de bacalao. She made salt cod fritters. She made a nice tomato and onion salad. She made some potatoes, some roasted potatoes, and she made her fire key lime pie. I'm telling you, she's getting some chops in her old age. I'm telling you, Prophet YouTube has taught her so much about life and about how to make things. But no, we're very grateful to my mother for inviting us, and we just had a great meal. And now we get to finish off. Hopefully, I'm not going to be floating because I'm meditating. I'm floating because I love that bacalao so much. So it made me float.
Before we get into it today, as always, please like and subscribe the video or the Spotify, whatever you're listening to, and share it with your friends. I know this weekend we had my friend Romeo come to church, and I shared the podcast with him personally.
Romeo chills.
Yeah.
Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? I liked Romeo. Romeo was a cool dude,
guy.
man. Cool dude. Hit him up on Mother Wolf Pizza Station. Order 2 diavolas.
Yeah. So,
but he's not a devil. He's cool.
No, he's cool. It is weird that they name it after the devil. Italians are all Catholic and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. But somebody came up with it because it's spicy. The devil's spicy.
Pizza.
It's a spicy meatball. Diavola. Devil ball. Okay.
So yeah, please share and like the video. It helps us grow the channel, helps more people see it. So it's always nice for you guys to do that. Starting off, continuing off on the meditation piece, we're going into the Buddha Gosa Visuddhimagga.
You did good, bro. I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna get you a Sanskrit thesaurus, a dictionary. You're just gonna be talking. Woo! My boy, the king of Mumbai, rolling up deep.
And it's continuing off Samantha without the end that we were talking about last week.
Yeah, that's actually key. Before we get into that, we need to talk about refresh about the Samatha and the Vipassana. Remember the Samantha without the end. Samatha and Vipassana, because this is really crucial. These elements are the most crucial parts of the entire meditative walk, the meditative practice. Remember that the Samatha is the calm, peace, and tranquility. In order for you to have any sort of success, according to this book, in your meditative life and walk, you need to be chill. You need to find your inner calm and your inner peace. Me, when I drive through Homestead, there is zero way that I'll ever get out of samsara. Zero. I am going to be suffering for eternity because I have no calm and no peace driving around Homestead. I just don't have it. That's why I know I'm not a Buddhist. I can't reach that level of attainment. I asked the Lord to help me out with that, and the Lord is working on that. But very important to Samatha, you have to have your calm, your peace, your tranquility. You're very chill. You're very zen. You're very... and then maybe like a gong.
Yeah.
You don't have a gong sound effect?
No.
God, I wish we had we should get a gong. All right.
We can get sound effects.
No, you can go to YouTube and put gong.
No, like a thing that does.
Like a butt. They have
I think Avery and people do that. Like they have like they push a button that makes a sound.
Oh no, he definitely has that because he literally pushes the button. He's like, "What's the NGO? What's the NGO?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look up sound effects, like an app where I could like just have, and then maybe you can add to it. All right, doesn't matter.
We'll see.
Okay, so you got samatha, which is your calm, peace, and your tranquility. And the second element, which is really the one that you need to get to the next levels, is insight. It is your ability to not only be calm and at peace, but for you to hyper focus, all right? So what Junior just said a little while ago, I'm not going to repeat it. It's basically the different types of personality types. And they really break it down, but I'm not going to do that. Just because, once again, it's like 8 of this, 4 of that, 3 of this, 9 of this, 2 of that. But basically, depending on what your personality type is, it's what type of meditative process you're going to do. So you might have some people that may be more affected by greed, by hatred, or delusion. And you might have some that might be more skillful. They might have more faith. They might have more intelligence. And then they go on to explain, like, for instance, if you suffer from this, then you're probably going to want to do that. Or if you suffer this, you're probably going to want to do that. I'm not going to get into it because it's a bunch of minutia, realistically. But basically, the ones that they give you are mindfulness of breathing, loving kindness, examples of things that represent elements such as earth, water, fire, wind, light. You also have 4 formless states, which we'll talk about that other. You also have unlovingness, people that focus on the decomposition of a corpse. Those are more suited for the greedy type people. Then you have mindfulness of the parts of the body. So those fall into the category for the intelligent people. And then you also have the mindfulness of the inevitability of death. And then those people, it's probably better for the intelligent type. And then lastly, you have you could focus on your meditation of recollections of the qualities of the Buddha. And that one would be under the guy that has faith, the faithful type, because he looks to Buddha really for everything. So I guess to begin, let's start out with the loving kindness meditation. All right. So let's start out with that one. The practice consists of developing a friendliness which is warm, accepting, patient, and unsentimental. In Southern Buddhism, and just so you know, everything we're going to talk about tonight is Southern Buddhism. I did not want to get into, because literally Northern Buddhism and Western Buddhism, Eastern Buddhism, all of them have the same similar type of things, only maybe a different approach to it. I don't want to be here for another 3 podcasts. So we're just going to do Southern Buddhism. I'm sorry, if you wanted to know more about Eastern Buddhism, go get a book. If you want to read more about Tibetan Buddhism, call up Dalai Lama, who was just found to be in the Epstein files. In Southern Buddhism, what he was. I don't know what the extent is, but man, if you're named with that dude, that's it.
Already bad.
That's it. You're stinky. It doesn't even matter. All you did was probably like decline an invite through an email, but it doesn't matter. The fact that you were invited, that's a problem, In Southern Buddhism, one begins by focusing this on oneself to get out of the know, to get out, to help get to know and come to terms with all aspects of oneself, warts and all. I like the fact that they're Buddhists, but they stole that from Martin Luther. Once these are accepted, not in a complacent way, then other people with their real or imagined faults can become the objects of genuine loving kindness, loving your neighbor as yourself. In other words, within this meditation practice, this loving one, you have to, number 1, get in touch with yourself. Once you get in touch with yourself and you're full on with yourself, now you could start to look at other people and you could look at them and you could try to help them. The meditator starts by saying to himself, for example, may I be well and happy. May I be free from difficulties and troubles. And he tries to feel what these words express so as to generate a joyful and warm heart. Okay, so Junior, if I tell you tomorrow, you're going to get on the floor. You're going to get in the, what is it? I don't think you're allowed to say Indian style anymore, right?
Yeah, crisscross applesauce.
That's what it is? Okay, Junior, get on the floor, crisscross applesauce. And then repeat this one after the other. May I be well and happy. Go ahead.
May I be well and happy.
May I be free from difficulties and troubles.
May I be free from difficulties and troubles.
If you do that well enough, where you get to a solid state, where you honestly feel that you are well and happy and you are free from difficulties and troubles, then you could move on to the next aspect, which is focus, loving kindness on others. How does that make sense to you?
You're just deluding yourself, I guess.
In other words, you're just literally brainwashing yourself.
Yeah.
You're sitting there crisscross applesauce telling yourself that you're all good, that you're going to be free from troubles. And then suddenly you get to some point and stay. I don't know, how long do you have to do this? Like, do you have to do this for an hour, or do you have to do this for like 6 months straight, 6 hours a day? Like, I would like to know, at what point do you just delude yourself into thinking that you're good? So then now you could focus on helping out others. Or you can just accept the fact that you're a human being and you're going to have troubles and you're going to have problems, and at the same time love other people. Oh, no. You're level 4, bro. You're level 4. No. I'm new to this, bro. I'm level 1.
But how can you do that if you don't love yourself? How does that work? That's what they would say, I imagine.
Oh, that's the answer? Like, how could you love someone else if you don't love yourself?
Yeah.
A baby's born. The baby's natural instinct is what?
Cry.
And then after to go to what? To the mother.
What? Feed?
Feed.
Okay.
The baby develops what towards the mother in time?
Love.
A connection, which turns into love. Has that baby loved itself?
No.
Has that baby in the crib said, help me love myself and then help me not have problems, such as this dirty diaper that I have, before that baby could love the mother? I'm just speaking on basic human instinct here. The baby realizes the baby has problems because he has a poopy diaper. The baby realizes that he needs a source to be able to sustain itself. The baby loves its mommy. That's why the first words generally, you could actually look it up statistically, is mama. Mama's the first word before papa. Sorry, dads, for the world. But mama statistically is the first word said.
Where's the reason for that?
What? Oh, the psychologist over here. Go ahead, give it to me, bro.
It's easier for a baby to say mama because you're just like, you're using your throat with your mouth closed. You're not like using your tongue at all.
You
have to do that. Whereas when you're just saying ma.
Oh, like I'm like
yeah, you're not like actually. I don't think they're saying mom.
So in other words, they're basically just going like almost burping verbally.
Yeah.
But then like it's like, and then they're like, I said mama, and then they post it on Instagram.
But that's essentially the reason why every culture around the world, regardless of language, has mama as a thing. Because when babies, they just say mama.
Also, like in other words, if you're right now in Mumbai,
yeah,
and because Mumbai, they speak a lot of English over there now. Okay, where's a place that they don't speak any English? Russia, China. No, China, they speak a lot of English too. Independent of that, like what is mama in Mandarin?
I don't know.
Google it real quick. No, because I need to dispel this. What is mama in Mandarin? And like make sure that it has the sound. Yeah, I just want to get through this.
Oh, well, it just says mama. It's just mama. But
really?
Like, if you were to say mom, let me see. That's also mama. Mother? Muquin.
Welcome to this pronunciation video. Today we will be focusing on a new word that you might find challenging or intriguing. So let's dive into today's word. Mama, which means mother in Russian. Let's say
it actually means mother in Russian. Mama. Okay.
Mama.
Man, look at that. And in other words,
But even like in Japan, like Japanese kids will say mama, even though like whatever the technical term is like okasan or whatever. Like the way we say mother when we're trying to be all formal, but as kids we say mama.
Or yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know that. In not the whole world, everybody says mama, and what you just said makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the first like mama, and then okay, all right. All right. So that was the first one. What's the next one?
Now it's the mindfulness of breathing. So using breathing in your meditation to help you out.
Yeah, we're going to get through these quick because there's a lot to get through tonight. Breathing meditation is to induce samatha. Remember, samatha is a calm, chill state. It's done with the eyes closed. Go ahead. Show us a form of that. It begins by some method of counting the in and out movements of slow, gentle breathing. Ooh, so you got to count the in and out movements. Hey, close eyes. You got to count it. So in other words, like, okay, like tell us, okay, I'm going to be quiet, but I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Tell us how many times you breathe in and out. What do you got?
6.
You did 6?
Yeah.
All right. So what you have to do with that is it allows your mind to become accustomed to staying on the breath. I'm assuming you have to do this in a nice quiet area, not where there's like this guy yelling and barking at you. Okay. Different breath. Oh, look at this one. This is good. Different breath lengths may be used, or the naturally varying length of the breaths may simply be noted. With more experience, in other words, this is the more you do this, how you're going to get better at this. The counting is dropped after a certain time in a sitting, and the flowing sensations arising from the breath are more carefully followed. So now, after a while, you stop counting and you start to notice the sensations that emanate from your breathing. Then the attention is focused on the sensations in one nostril.
How does that even work?
Okay, dude. So you go from counting to then focusing on the sensation to then you're actually focused on the sensation of only one of your nostrils. Now, do you pick which nostril?
I don't know. I guess.
Okay, look, I'm going to try for a second. I feel the same exact sensation in both nostrils.
Yeah, I know. It's like, how do you...
How am I supposed to tell my brain to go to only the right nostril?
I mean, that's the point. Like, that's how you know you're good at it, right?
Ask them.
I guess. The next part is the 5 hindrances and access concentration.
You know, they got to put numbers on everything. They got to number everything here. As the meditator learns to work with the mental image, he or she has to gradually suspend the 5 hindrances, which obstruct your progress. Each is a mental reaction to the process of developing sustained application to any task. What is the first one? Sensual desires, where the mind reaches out for something more alluring and interesting than the given object. So in other words, what may get in the way or hinder in your meditative process when you're focusing on an object, such as, i.e., your left boogie nose nostril, what will get in the way is something more alluring. Mm-hmm. In other words, the Super Bowl halftime show. That is more alluring, even though I didn't understand any of it, than focusing on my one booger-filled left nostril.
Wait, so you didn't understand it either?
I understand nothing, bro.
I didn't know what he was saying at all.
Oh, you watched it?
Like on my phone afterwards.
Yeah. Dude, we sat there for 20 minutes, and the only thing that I took out of it was, why did they use Lady Gaga and not a Latina singer? That's the first thing that I thought of. I'm like, I know that she's a big name, but there's 1,000 Latina big names that they could have used.
And they chose one of her songs. It's like not even, it's a Bruno Mars song that she was just on.
I didn't even know the song. I don't even know the song. The other thing was, it was cool to see Ricky Martin after so long. That was another thing that I got out of it. Him giving the Grammy Award to a little kid. I don't know what that meant. I don't know if it was his dream to win a Grammy.
I think that was like him
when he was
like
a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he got it. Okay, that's cute.
What was the wedding thing about? Was that like
they actually got married? It was like a real wedding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That made no sense to me. None of that made sense to me. Honestly, the only thing that I thought was cool was the scenery, like the grass and all that. You know, I mean, it felt like we were in Guadalajara.
I thought the end was cool, like the God Bless America, and then he named all the countries.
That was cool. I agree with that. That was the only part I understood. I understood nothing. And you know what I read about it today? That the reason why he was mumbling so much was because that was a lot of like profanity stuff.
Oh, really?
Like it's like kind of the bad stuff within his songs, and he didn't want to get censored. Even though the Republicans want to sue the FCC or whatever for allowing that to be on TV. So in other words, now you're going to create a whole fight in Washington because this guy went out there. Then, you know, he didn't say nothing about Trump, but the fact that he was praising the Latin nations. But I understood none of it. I didn't understand why. I know the theoretically the power outages in Puerto Rico. I didn't think the whole power line. Honestly, I thought most of it was stupid. But and then him like kind of his dance moves, I didn't think were really appropriate. But then again, he's not an appropriate person. All that said, I understood none of the show except for the end, the countries. Yeah. I heard him say Cuba, all of that. So
he even said like Jamaica and stuff. It wasn't just the.
I think he mentioned all basically. Yeah, no, he mentioned even Canada.
Yeah.
He mentioned this entire hemisphere. So, okay. So the first one is something more alluring, right? The second is ill will. So in other words, when you get distracted, when you don't feel like it. The third one is dullness and lethargy. You're too tired. The fourth one is restlessness and worry. Oh, man, I left the coffee maker on. Or, oh, is somebody going to pick up Johnny from school today? That's not going to let you get it done. And the last one is fear of commitment, where the mind wavers back and forth saying that the task is not worth performing. So in other words, these are general. This is what I would call the Siddhartha's coaching methods. He would put this on a chalkboard. And he will basically say, don't find other things more alluring. Don't have ill will to the hand. Don't be lazy and tired and drowsy. Don't be restless and worried. And the last one, don't lack fear of commitment. And then suddenly out of nowhere, like he blows a whistle. And then they all go out to the field and they win the game. All
right. Next is now we're talking about the four jhanas. And formless attainments.
The jhanas and formless attainments. Now is where we get a little bit weird. In access concentration, the jhana factors are still weak. Remember, jhana being your meditation. You know, your this is your force. Okay, this is Luke in episode 5, right?
Yeah.
A New Hope.
Yeah.
Is it? No. A New Hope is 4.
Back.
Empire Strikes Back. This is him going to Dagobah and going with Yoda, where he has the force, but it's still weak. It needs to be strengthened. So his jhana, or his force, is still weak, like the legs of a toddler learning to walk. Once they are strong, the mind may briefly dip into or remain in a state of absorption concentration. When jhana, meditation proper, is attained, here the mind is blissfully absorbed in concentration on the object and is insensitive to sense stimuli, so that the jhana can be seen as sort of a trance. So once we get to episode 6, Luke Skywalker is full on in jhana trance.
Yeah.
All right?
And he has the green lightsaber now.
Now he has a green lightsaber. The state described above is the first set of 4 jhanas. So this is level 1. Mm-hmm. So imagine if I tell you, just for you to get to the end of level 1, forget the next level, forget the next level, forget the next level. For you to get to the end of level 1, you have to be able to meditate so deeply and richly that you basically... You don't even feel anything around you, and you're basically in a trance. That's just level 1.
Yeah, I know, right?
Dude, we haven't got to flying yet. All right, we're not floating yet. We're right. This is just level 1. Once it has been fully mastered, that level 1, the meditator develops the others, progressively dropping certain jhana factors as relatively gross, cultivating deeper and more subtle degrees of calm and channeling more and more energy. The 4th jhana is a state of profound stillness and peace in which the mind rests with unshakable one-pointedness and equanimity, And breathing, get this, has calmed to the point of stopping. You are so into it that you're basically living while not even breathing. Isn't that pretty amazing? Yeah. It's a modern medical miracle. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about this tablet here, so we'll just go to the next one.
Next one is cessation and the higher knowledges.
Very good. The remaining states, which can be developed on the basis of profound samatha, remember samatha is calm, relaxing, and require the addition of vipassana, remember that's insight, into the nature of things. It is said that one can become an arahat or a non-returner, for example, by developing any of the four jhanas. Or the first three formless states, then developing insight into the impermanent nature of the qualities in these refined states so as not to overcome any attachment to them. Because remember, at the end, then it's all about attachment. Another possibility is, via the fourth state, to attain the cessation of perception and feeling, also known as the attainment of cessation. Cessation is an anomalous state in which the mind totally shuts down, devoid of even subtle perception or feeling, due to turning away from even the very refined piece of the formless level. In this state, oh, you're going to love this one, Junior. In this state, the heart stops. But a residual metabolism keeps the body alive for 7 days. So, sorry, I'm coughing. So when you're in the cessative state, your heart stops and some sort of metabolic reaction occurs where you can live up to 7 days with your heart stopped. Pull out WebMD. No, I'm not going to do it. Just, can you live for 7 days with your heart not pumping? All right.
I guess there's like surgical ways that you could stop your heart, but only for like an hour at most or something.
Yeah, but then they attach that thing that
keeps you alive.
Yeah, whatever, not pacemaker, that other thing that yeah. If blood is not pumping through your body, you got nothing going on. Your brain will die. That's literally your brain needs blood to pump. Here a person gains a sort of unconscious meeting with nirvana, for they are said to touch nirvana with their body. I want to know one dude that went through the 7-day thing, and then I just want to know.
It says only someone with a mastery of the formless states, who is a non-returner or arahat, or on the brink of attaining these states, can attain this state.
So nobody.
So yeah, who?
Like, give me one guy that did this. But a guy that didn't like have a heart attack and then like miraculously come back to life. No. An actual guy that did this.
I almost feel like it's like something that happened like a few hundred years ago. Like the guy put himself into a coma or something.
Yeah,
so they just thought his heart stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he wouldn't wake up.
Yeah. And then he woke up 7 days later.
Yeah.
And then they're all like, "It's a miracle! Oh, this man reached nirvana!" And then he goes along with it. Now he's famous, you know. All right. Okay, now this next paragraph is the funny one. From fourth jhana, the 6 higher knowledges can also be developed. The first 3 consist of various paranormal abilities. The first is a group of psychic accomplishments, psychokinetic abilities such as walking on water, flying, diving into the earth, and being in several places at once. What is diving into the earth? So once you reach this fourth jhana with the 6 higher knowledges, you can actually dive into the ground. Like you could go through the earth and reach the magma. Or you could fly. See, Superman already did that one. So, you know, walking on water, they ripped that one off of Jesus. Diving into the earth is a new one. And being in several places all at once, we believe that God is omniscient and omnipresent. So, but I can't say that a man could do this.
No.
All right. These are said to be developed by meditating on the elements of matter to gain control of them. So if you focus on matter, dude, you can actually become to the point where you can dissolve yourself and then remake yourself and to be able to do anything you want, because now you are in control of matter.
It's like Avatar.
Isn't that what they're trying to do in Switzerland with that hydro collider thing?
Oh, the Hydron.
Yeah. Are they
At
Buddhist?
Geneva.
The second higher knowledge, oh, this one is good, is clairaudience. I think they meant clairvoyance, but the ability to hear sounds at great distance, including the speech of the gods. Oh, man. So if you get this knowledge, you could hear stuff from Africa. I mean, no, you can hear stuff from heaven. Like, that's how good your hearing is. The third knowledge is that of reading the mental states of other people. The last three of these comprise the threefold knowledge, which is memory of your past lives, seeing how beings are reborn according to their karma, and the attainment of nirvana. So those are the last three. You can actually remember your past lives. You can see how people are born according to their karma, and then you can actually reach nirvana.
But like my thing is, even if, let's just say someone did attain this state, which it seems like almost no one does,
No.
according to this book.
Who?
How do you, there's no evidence for some of these things. I guess you could see someone walking on water, but there's no way someone's done that, and there's no evidence of it. Same with the diving and the flying. Like these other things, like how are you going to say that what this guy says about his past life is true? How are you supposed to know?
It's completely subjective.
Yeah.
In other words, he could say, oh, I saw myself last time. I had long hair. And, you know, whatever. And then, oh, I died in a canoe. And then the guy before, he's like, oh, I died swimming in dirty water. But then it's like, how do we know what he could just be making it up? Yeah. I mean, all right, if I see a dude flying in Mumbai, I'm like, that dude's got it right. Like he's full on. Like he's, you know. If I see a dude walking on the river Ganges, that guy's enlightened. If I see a dude in front of the Taj Mahal, jump off the Taj Mahal, and he goes in the ground and then like comes out like over there, that dude is enlightened. But show me one example of anybody that's ever done those things. Jesus, the Lord Christ, walked on water. Jesus, the Lord Christ, he flew when he ascended up to heaven. All right. So if you want real life examples of some of these things, you know what? Jesus Christ, when he died, the book of Peter tells us that he descended down into hell. So isn't it interesting that all of those things are things that Jesus Christ, our Lord, actually did? Not some man who sits crisscross applesauce and then focuses on whatever he focuses. He focuses on the booger that's hanging out of his nostril, but then he manages to figure out the matter of it, and then that dude flies. Jesus Christ flew when he ascended. Jesus Christ went into the earth after he died, and he was crucified. And Jesus Christ, what is the other one?
Walked on water.
Jesus walked on water in the Galilee. So yeah, Jesus Christ is king.
And we're skipping ahead quite a bit here to the Pure Land visualizations.
Yeah, I just like this whole Pure Land thing. I don't know. I just think it's so stupid that I highlighted it. I mean, realistically, it's nothing but Pure Land chanting can lead to single-minded concentration with the mind joyfully contemplating Amitabha Buddha and his qualities. As practiced among Chinese people, this involves, number one, the use of a rosary with the chant. Yeah, it's not just the Catholics. They also have the rosary. Whether this chant is Nanmo Amituo Fo or Amituo. Namo Amituo Fo. Namo Amituo Fo. Loud chanting when the mind is sluggish, affected by fading, or you have soft chanting when the mind is scattered and in need of settling. You also have diamond recitation when the lips move soundlessly. Oh, like this. I was doing my lips soundlessly. You also have purely mental recitation. This is an advanced form of practice which cultivates awareness of all as thought only. And once again, no way to quantify this. Like a guy could be sitting on the floor and like, oh, this guy is advanced because he's doing purely mental recitation. He's just talking to himself. You know what I could do? I literally do this all day. I talk to myself. I don't know about you. Some people say I'm that might be a sign of a mental issue. But so in other words, am I a high level Christian? Like, if I pray to the Lord without speaking or moving my lips, is that a higher level prayer than if I stand in front of the church and pray?
I guess.
Why would it be? I'm praying to God on my own.
According to these people.
For them, it is. The next one is silently doing the chant once with each in or out breath, breathing neither slowly nor quickly. In other words, okay, so just breathe normally. Thank you. As with the practice of counting the breath, it was so dumb. Reciting while walking if the mind is drowsy. So those are the Pure Land chants. Also, to add to that, the first meditation is performed by the practitioner contemplating the setting sun until its image can be held clearly before the mind's eye. So the first one is you focus on the sun up until the point that you could actually see the sun setting, like you could focus on it without seeing the sun setting.
Yeah.
The next meditations begin by developing a mental image of water. This is then seen to turn to ice and then into shimmering, translucent beryl sounded by hundreds of shining jewels. From their light, a jeweled tower of 10 million stories is seen to form in the sky. This vision is then firmly established until it remains throughout the day, with the eyes open or shut. Okay, time out, man. We need a recap on this one. So in this Pure Land Buddhism meditation, you start out with the sun, and then you move to water. And then that water turns to ice. And that ice turns into beryl, which is a red stone, a red gem. And then that red gem turns into jewels, hundreds of jewels. And then from their light, you create a jeweled tower that's 10 million stories high. And if you get to the point where all day long, morning, day, and night, with your eyes wide shut, the light turned off. I didn't charge it. With your eyes wide shut or your eyes wide open, eyes wide shut. Yeah. If you could picture that 10 million story jewel tower all day long, you're golden. You just did it, bro. You just did it. Guess what? I'm visualizing right now a building, a Trump Tower filled with diamonds.
You can't even see 10 million stories tall.
How do you see 10 million stories tall?
Like, that'll go out of your vision.
We went to Dubai. The Burj Khalifa is 130 whatever stories, and even then it's in the clouds.
Yeah.
With 10 million stories, Goda. Okay. Maybe it's just me that this sounds stupid, but I don't know. Like, does this sound really like? Okay, if I am a Harvard graduate professor and I become a Buddhist, did I just lose 40 IQ points? I mean, I just wonder. This vision is firmly established and it remains throughout the entire day. Next visualizations of the details of the Pure Land are built up. For example, jewel trees that are 800 leagues high, which is a lot. Everything is tall.
Yeah.
And water in the form of soft jewels lapping over diamond sands.
Soft jewels.
Isn't that cute? Next, the throne of Amitabha is visualized as a huge iridescent lotus with 84,000 petals, each of which has each one of 84,000 petals has 84,000 veins. And guess what? From each vein comes 84,000 rays of light.
It's a lot. You can't even see. It's too bright.
Well, my whole thing is that the way my mind works is that I think I'd first have to count the 84,000 petals. I just need to make sure they're all there. I mean, because if I fall short of that, am I fully enlightened? Am I there? Am I in the Pure Land? Like, what if I wasn't 1,000% good and my pedal only had like 42,000 pedals? Are they gonna kick me out? Amitabha's gonna be like, nah, bro, nah, you're only halfway there. Okay. Amitabha himself is then visualized so that the mind is contemplating the form in which the Dharma body appears, has its own intrinsic Buddha nature activated. So once you get to the point where you could visualize the sunset, and then the sunset turns to water, and then the water turns to ice, and then the ice turns into gems, and then it turns into a whole bunch of gems, and then it turns into a 10,000 floor building that's all full of gems, and then you visualize Pure Land, and then you visualize eight jewel trees that are 800 leagues high, and then water is in the form of soft jewels that are lapping over diamond sands. That must suck, that beach to walk barefoot in. And then you visualize the throne of Amitabha, which is 84,000 petals, and every petal has 84,000 veins, and every vein has 84,000 rays of light. Then you did it, bro. You're in the Pure Land, my man. Isn't that the dumbest thing you ever heard, bro?
It just doesn't, like, what does all that even lead you to at that point?
I don't know. I mean, it leads you to New Year's in Dubai, where they sprinkle the Burj Khalifa with lights.
The next bit is
how many leaves does the lotus tree, the plant thing have? Isn't it like 5? Who came up with 84,000? Tell me the guy that meditated to the point where he saw this and he saw a throne with 84,000 leaves. And how many times did he have to restart counting because he messed up?
That is a good amount of leaves.
Okay, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 10, 8, 12, maybe 14? How long would it take you to count one of those that's 84,000? And then you got to count the veins. And then you got to count the rays of light. If each vein, 84,000, each vein has 84,000 light rays, do you know how many light rays that is? That's like quadrillions.
Well, we could do the math.
Okay, do 84,000 times 84,000 times 84,000.
Do my calculator here.
This is good for you guys, the mathematicians. I'm sure there's one nerd out there that always like, oh, 454 trillion, 750 million, boom, 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 boom. 84,000 times 84,000.
That's a big number.
Okay, wait. That's okay. Million, billion. 592 trillion, 704 billion. Booyah. How long would it take you to count good that 592 trillion petals and rays of light? Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. Wouldn't have. Well, then again, you're in the Pure Land. You get time is you're not in time. All right.
So next we have the tantric visualizations.
Now's where we start to have fun with this. Now's when we're moving on to like different countries and what they do. I always wonder about this whole tantric thing, you know, tantra, mantra, all of that. Visualizations are a central figure of tantric meditation in Northern Buddhism and in Milgyo and Shingon, the Korean and Japanese forms of tantric Buddhism. Complex and vivid visualization practices are used to take the mind to states of deep calm, to focus on and identify with imagery that is seen as an expression of the mind's basic purity, and then to let go of the imagery so as to develop insight into the nature of the mind. So once again, you got to get your samatha out. You got to get your vipassana out. You got to get your calm, your peace, your insight. In order to be guided through the complex and powerful meditations, a tantric practitioner must find a suitable lama or guru to act as his or her spiritual preceptor. Once he has found one with whom he has a personal affinity, so I guess you can't just like get one off the internet. Like you have to actually know the guy and then like be cool with him. He must prove his sincerity, purity, and detachment before he will be accepted as a disciple. How do you do that? Okay, like in other words, I could fake my sincerity. How do I prove my purity? And how do I prove my detachment? What, I show up with like socks with holes in them? like once again, the first one I could lie about, but the next two, how could that be quantified? Purity and detachment.
You could also lie about those.
Yeah, I could say, nah, man, I divorced her. That's it. I got nothing. I gave her the kids too, and the car payment. I'm gonna live off of the alms bowl, baby. That's right. Somebody better come and bring me a casserole every morning. If not, I'm gonna starve. That's how detached I am. Yeah. Where's my one toothpick? All right, stop being stupid. Where are we at here? All right, before he'll be accepted as a disciple, for his spiritual welfare will then be the responsibility of the Lama. So in other words, once the Lama takes you on, then like where you go is up to him. So it's like a big deal. At the initiation, the Lama selects a mantra, a chosen deity, what is that? Skista?
I think that's Sanskrit.
Sanskrit is
Ista
Devata. Okay. So in other words, a chosen deity that is appropriate to the practitioner's character type. Okay, so wait. So in other words, if you're the type of dude that's maybe a little impulsive, they got a God for that. No. We got the God for you, bro. This God was gonna calm you down. If you got a guy that maybe I don't know, maybe he picks his nose, do they got a God for that? Like, I don't know. Okay, all right. So you get a God that's a chosen deity that's good for your character type and introduces him to the mandala or sacred diagram of the yidam. The nature and role of mantra, yidam, and mandala are as follows. So now we're going to talk about the mantras, the yidam, and then after we'll talk. Do you know what a mandala is? It's like, we've seen it like in previous things. I know we've seen it because we watch Amazing Race, where they have like a big thing, and then with the sand, colored sand, and it's like a piece of art. And then the whole time I'm like, man, I wish I could just go like mess that dudes up, you know? But every time I see it, I'm like, man, wouldn't it be the jerk move to suddenly come in here with like a leaf blower? Just all right, those are the things that go on in my head. Yeah. But in other words, it's like a big art thing. But all right, they do it with sand but really they make it as an art piece, you know? So the mantras. The mantras are sacred words of power, mostly unintelligible syllables or strings of syllables. Nam bam dam bam do no mam bing, which give an arrangement of sound of great potency. Can you look up mantra YouTube? When pronounced in the right way, with the right attitude of mind, not my attitude, the sound arrangement of a mantra is seen as tuning in the practitioner's mind to a being he wishes to visualize. Oh, your YouTube's messed up? You have to sign in? Why do you gotta sign in?
Yeah, because I have to update it.
I got you, bro. Do I even have YouTube on this thing? Oh, yeah, I got it here. Let's see. What are we going to call this? Buddhist mantras. How do I search? See, this is going to come in my search history. Mantras. Mantra. Be all about it. A Buddhist mantra. Oh, I guess it's the same thing that we were doing before, the chanting. Like the chanting and the meditation. Like it's... Okay, let's see this one. This one's for positive energy, everybody. This is the mantra for positive energy. Okay. I'm just forwarding to it. Very zen, very chill. Like honestly, I could see you doing gardening to this. You know, I'm going to put this on when I cook to see if it calms me down. Or like maybe when I drive, I should be. Oh, it's like the Buddhist Lady Gaga. She has a nice voice. Very chill. It's very chilling. Look at it. I think the producer's gonna go to sleep. Muni Maha Muni Shaki Muni Swa Muni. Okay, so yeah, unintelligible. Thank you. All right, let me turn Shakira off over here. All right. Let me go back to this. Okay, so there's syllables, and if you do it the right way, you could get what you visualize. A mantra is seen as acting like a psychic key, like key to your house, which enables a person either to have power over physical things or to visualize and communicate with a being force whose mantra it is. Oh, so in other words, if this mantra comes from like some god, you can actually communicate with them via the thing. So if I go there, Shamuni Muni Shamina Mina Mu Shumi Shamu Shamuni Muni Shu, you can eventually get to communicate with them. Each holy being has its own mantra, which is seen to express its particular nature. So every one of their holy being gods or whatever has their own mantra. And if you recite the mantra, you can actually get in touch with them. Like, you know, like through the mantra, you could speak to them some way. Tantric rites may involve the use of ritual gestures, which, like the gestures made by the hands of Buddha images, are known as mudras or or signs. So the mudras or signs are basically the images. Thus, the mudras are used to amplify the efficacy of the mantras, in evoking psychic forces and higher states of consciousness. So the first one is you do the mantra. You're chanting. You're chanting to the God that you want to communicate with. Then, but you use mudras, which are images. You know, because obviously, if I want to get in touch with whatever, this god, Shillelagh, whatever her name is, and I want to get in touch with Shillelagh, it's easy for me to chant the Shillelagh chant, Shillelagh, Shillelagh, Shillelagh. But then if I have a picture of Shillelagh and I'm chanting and I'm focusing on the chant, but also on the picture of Shillelagh, then I might have a better situation or chance of getting in touch with Shillelagh. A yidam is a particular holy being who is in harmony with the practitioner's nature. So in other words, once you, your guru or your lama will set you up with your right deity. That's the yidam. So then you're going to get the mantra, which is the chant, the she la lamu ta lamu pa la luli puli tul. And then you're going to have the images of the yidam. So you're going to be able to look at the picture, even though nobody knows what that guy looks like, but it's just a picture of something, made up picture. I mean, the Hindus, they have lovely pictures of their gods. And then you get the yidam. A yidam is selected from the tantric pantheon. Woo, they got a pantheon. That was in chapter 6. I actually went back and read that just to see. It was so dumb. By identifying with this yidam, a practitioner identifies with his own basic nature, purged of faults. So in other words, he's identifying with the Buddhahoodness of this god. The yidam also reveals aspects of his character, which he persists in overlooking, for it visually represents them. Acting as a guide for his practice, the yidam enables the practitioner, get this, enables the practitioner, the person meditating, to magically transmute the energy of his characteristic fault into a parallel kind of wisdom embodied by the yidam. Can you explain that to me?
I guess just when you're going into this yidam, that you're able to, having the yidam act as a guide to be able to turn whatever you're dealing with, your fault, into like how to make it the wise part, the good part.
In other words, take all your crap and make it good.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, very good. Yeah.
The next part is the mandalas, which you were just talking about, the sand and the leaf blower.
The leaf blower, man. I swear, I really wanted to do that. Just out of fun, you know. And then some, like almost like one of those. I don't want to say the name, but the Jack, you know, the movies and the TV show, ASS.
Oh yeah.
Where, like I would see like one of those idiots, you know, like doing that. Like just like this guy is in deep meditative, like with the sand, and then they just like suddenly like they start like fighting each other and they fall on it, and then suddenly like Johnny Knoxville shows up with like a leaf blower. So just stupid. A mandala or sacred circle is a device developed in India between the 7th and 12th centuries, possibly being derived from the Kasina mandala. Its basic function, you're going to love this, is to portray the luminous world, and if you want, you can Google one so we can show it to the people, or pure land of a specific holy being, with other holy beings particularly associated with it arrayed about it. So in other words, when you get your holy being, every holy being has their own picture of Pure Land. And then you get to get involved in that mandala and see what their Pure Land looks like. By being introduced to his Yidam's mandala, are you going to show this? Yeah, look at that. You might have to get a little closer. Yeah, we got the temple of the true God Yahweh right here.
Yeah, it's like nice art.
Yeah, it's a piece of art. It's a piece of art. Yeah, the leaf blower would be fun though. By being introduced, in other words, you're the meditator. You are being introduced to that whatever. Does it tell you what God that is?
No, this one's just like a random.
It's just random, whatever. Yeah, you see a lot of chicks getting like the tattoos of this stuff lately. You know, it's like a thing. You know, they think it's cute and colorful. It looks like a flower. They don't know that they're putting the devil on their skin. But whatever, that's neither here nor there.
None of these have names on them. They're just.
Yeah, you might need to go like whatever. by you, Danny the meditator, being introduced to the Yidam's mandala, you can familiarize yourself with the deity's world and the holy beings associated with him or her. By vivid visualization of the deity and his or her world, how is that flower, that colorful blue world, how is that a world? Like, what is it? What is that? Avatar? What is that, Pandora? I mean, it looks like Pandora. Does it have any intricate like markings? Like, does it show like a bathroom or something? He may master and integrate the psychic forces they represent. Okay, seriously, that blue flower has psychic forces. So as to be able to wisely use all aspects of his being in a spiritually skillful way. We're getting to the end, man. We're getting close. So now it's the visualizations. Okay. So you have your Yidam, which is your deity. You have your mantra, which is the mana mana puban bunde bandum bunde. You have your mandala, which is the visualization of the world of that God, the pure land of that deity. So dumb. Then now you can go on to perform various meditations in the form of sadhanas or accomplishings. Sadhanas involve the mind and vivid visualizations. This is the acid trip. The speech in chanting mantras and descriptions of holy beings, and the body in the use of the mudras, which is the pictures of the god. The vivid vision comes to be seen as at least as real as the external physical objects, and so generation and reflection on it is a way of realizing that everything is thought only, no more real than the vision. The method focuses resolutely on the idea of the mind's basic purity and clothes this in vivid forms that are used to tune the mind out of its normal ruts by lifting it to more sublime levels. So once you got your God, once you got your chant, once you got your art piece, once you got the picture of your God, you get deep into this. You get into almost this visualized trance where suddenly out of nowhere you see it, even though it's not there, but you literally experience and see it through a vision. And by doing that, you take your mind to sublime levels. That's crazy.
But also, like,
Demonic.
just because they're imagining this stuff now, it's like the spiritual thing now.
How do I know homeboy that's on the floor is actually doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. I see the deity. I see the world. Like, am I going to take his word for it? Or did he maybe nobody gave alms that day and he's starving and he's delirious? All right.
The next part is the Kakras or the Kakras and the 6 yogas of Naropa.
Hey, be careful. In some areas, that might be a bad word. Hey, we only got a couple left. This one and the last one.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I can't wait to be done with this Buddhism. All right, the Kakras and the 6 yogas of Naropa. The most powerful way of drawing on the powers of a visualized being is in tantric practice of the supreme union. Having set aside all usual images of himself and the world by regarding them as empty of essence, the adept, in other words, the high-level meditator, visualizes the seed syllable of his yidam. And from this comes to build up a visualization of himself as the yidam. Ooh. Once you get so good, you can visualize how that God became a God. So then now you could then see yourself as being that God. Now we're getting deep, man. Now we're getting deep, boys and girls. The meditator develops divine pride. The pride of actually being the deity. I am him. I am God. He visualizes himself as the yidam as regards both his external appearance and the inner makeup of his mystical physiology, a subtle body based on 5 psychophysical centers known as the chakras. I wonder if that's short for cockroaches. The chakras are seen as located at or near the crown of his head, at the bottom of the throat, the heart, the navel, and the perineum.
Where's that at?
Huh?
The perineum.
Isn't that like kind of a little bit lower than your belly button? Yeah, it's like not quite down to the genitalia, but like a little bit above that. So in other words, let me just re-explain this. You get so good that you visualize yourself as the God in regards both to his external, in other words, like you almost become him. You feel like you're him in external appearance and the inner makeup of his mystical physiology, a subtle body based on 5 psychophysical centers known as the chakras. And these chakras are seen located at the top of the head, the bottom of the throat, the heart, the belly button, and the perineum. The meditator then sees around him the mandala of the yidam. So now at this point, you literally are this God. You've turned into this God. Now you see his mandala, which is his world, his pure land world, representing his pure land. By visualizing himself as the deity, the meditator takes on some of its powers and virtues, which are symbolically expressed in many details of his experience, of appearance. Finally, the whole visualization is gradually dissolved into empty essencelessness. That's a hard word to say. So as to overcome any attachment to it. In other words, you can't be there too long, bro. You can't be there too long because then you're going to get attached to it. And you already see yourself as the God. I am the God. And then you see the world, the mandala. But you can only have that for a little bit because then you're going to want to be there always. That's attachment. No bueno. Visualizations and disillusions are then repeated until mastery of the visualized world is attained. So in other words, in the beginning, you might feel like that drive to stay there a little bit longer. But eventually you'll get to the point where you'll understand that you're in and out of that world. The completion stage is then entered, okay, where there is visualization and manipulation of the meditators and the God's energies and qualities. So once you get to the big time, now you're actually manipulating the energies between one another. Here, the meditator draws on methods such as the 6 yogas of Naropa, which were developed by the Kagiyupas, but are also used in other schools. These are the yogas of heat, illusory body, dream, clear light, intermediate state, transference of consciousness. In the Kagidupa, I'm going to say Kagidupa. I don't know how to say that. Form of heat yoga. We have this here in America now. What do they call it? The one where it's hot. Like they got the temperature like 105.
Like in a sauna kind of thing?
Yeah. What is it called? Yeah, it's a thing. People that not because you sweat more.
Yeah.
In the Katigupa form of heat yoga, the yogin, which is you, the person doing the yoga, having visualized his body as hollow and then visualize the components of the subtle body, then performs various breathing rhythms, including retention of the breath for up to 6 minutes. Holding your breath for up to 6 minutes in the heat while following the circulation of the vital energy derived from breath as it moves through the various channels. So not only are you holding your breath, you also can see the energy that is moving all throughout your body through all the channels. So in other words, like I saw it go from the lungs. I saw it. It moved up and then it moved up and then I saw the energies. Completion stage is reached when at a certain point the heat is seen to melt the bindu as it is located between the eyebrows, leading to a great bliss permeating the entire body. Once the great bliss is experienced, it is seen as empty of subject or object duality, and the emptiness bliss in which all the body is seen to dissolve until only the bindu exists. That's so dumb, bro. I mean, you're focusing on the energies of your breathing and how it travels all throughout your body. So dumb. And then, go ahead, to end.
To end off is now the sexual yoga.
Of course, I had to end on a juicy one. Sexual yoga.
No, this was just weird when I was reading it. Just like how the way they word it, it's almost like they're worshiping this act of sex.
Oh, they don't like downward facing dog? All right, this is quick. One paragraph. So this is what they do with their sexual yoga. While visualizing the energy in the nerve channels. Can you imagine visualizing the energies in your nerves? The reciting and visualizing mantras. No, maybe this one. Do they have sexual? Do you have YouTube or is it? Oh, let me see. Let me see sexual yoga mantras. Let me see if they're different. Like, is it more like an Al Green song? Let me see. Sexual yoga mantras.
Like a Marvin Gaye song.
Tantric. Mantra for sexual attraction. Oh, this is hot. Lingala. Oh, Gru. Lingala. Hey, look, I'm not making this stuff up, man. There's 600 million people chilling with this. All right, let me get back to this. Okay, so visualizing the energy in the nerve channels and reciting the Langala go the Langala She called me stupid. I guess she's not being enticed by the Langala. Okay, reciting and visualizing mantras. Sexual yoga is performed with the man visualized as a male yidam, so a male deity. So when I do this, the sexual yoga, I visualize myself as a male god, right? And his partner, the woman, is being visualized as the yidam's consort. So in other words, the god's girl, like side piece or whatever, girlfriend. These two are seen to represent the pair, skillful means and wisdom, with the penis being referred to in the esoteric twilight speech of the tantras as a vajra and the vagina as a lotus. So the peni is a vajra and the vag is a lotus. At climax, the semen and its psychic energy are retained and visualized as ascending the central nerve channel until reaching the crown chakra, which is the perineum, what we're talking about, so as to produce a great bliss, a state of non-dual radiant clarity in which skillful means and wisdom are united. All concepts and images drop away, and there is said to be a direct knowledge of emptiness. What do you take on that?
I guess.
Because I want to explain my explanation. It might be a little bit, not graphic, just not for 2-year-olds to hear. But then again, I don't care. They shouldn't be listening to this anyway.
Yeah. I mean, just the way he explains it, it seems like they're going through it and then they climax. And after that, it's like they don't care anymore. They just stop caring.
Once again, all he did was basically explain what happens.
Yeah.
Like you have sex, you climax or you come, I don't know, whatever you want to say it. And then after, you feel empty. Yeah, you're like, I mean, yes, you have great bliss. That's the actual process of climaxing. And then you just feel empty. I mean, he didn't really he didn't give us anything new here. This is not some new incredible knowledge that we've attained today. All he did was explain the process with big words.
Didn't exactly reinvent the wheel here.
Well, that's about it, boys and girls.
It
was a long ride through Buddhism. Believe me, I never thought it would take this long. But the thing is that the more you read, the dumber you read. It's dumb. Yeah. I'm happy. I just literally closed the book. I don't even want to see that book again, unless I preach some series on this later on in life. But it was a long ride, but we saw how the devil deceives. And the devil deceives in many, many ways. And this is just another way the devil deceives, putting the focus on yourself. Guess what? There's no original sin. Guess what? You can save yourself. You could do it by means of mantras and tantras and this and all of the antras. And, all you have to do is find your inner light, your inner enlightenment. And this is how you do it. But guess what? It's going to take you several hundred lifetimes to be able to do this. But if you keep hard and you work at it, you'll eventually get at it. And then, of course, this last episode, we went through the actual meditation piece. It's dumb. I don't feel like anybody in India has ever flown or has ever walked on water or has ever gone into the ground. These are just ideas. It's ideology. It's all philosophy mixed with ideas. And then they write it down because it sounds cool. Because guess what? People that go to these religions, their life sucks and they're looking for an answer. They're looking for something. And then they go to these people and they see these people are all chill and hippie and all they're all like zen, relaxed. And you're like, you know what? I'm stressed out at work. I want to be zen and chill. So then they start meditating. They get involved in this further and further away from the truth of Christ and of the gospel. And that is what happens with these world religions. The devil manipulates, gets people out there. Guess what? Once again, I will say it. There is only one way to God, and it is Jesus Christ himself. John 14:6. He is the way, the truth, and the life, and you will not go to the Father except through him. Stop with these mantras. Stop with these mudras, these pictures, these mandalas. It's all crap. It's all garbage. It is all rooted in devilish practices, because the devil is the king of this world, and the devil is deceiving. That is his name, his job. He's the deceiver, the accuser, and that his job is to deceive, and he doesn't want more and more people to come to Christ. So he invents and he invents and he invents all of these other ways for you to live your life. And guess what? Next week, we're going to talk about another, not even a religion, but more of a philosophy, way of life. Once again, another deception of the devil. And we'll keep doing that. And we'll keep exposing, because at the end of the day, we are preaching Christ, the truth of Christ, but at the same time denouncing the falsehood of the devil.
Amen. And I find it interesting on the side of like the devil being a deceiver and a manipulator, how far you have to get into the religion before you actually start worshiping other gods. He starts off so small, like, oh, be more moral, be nicer to people, love yourself. And then it's like, oh, go to this weird Buddhist temple thing and start talking to the monks, and then become a monk. And then now it's like, oh, now you start worshiping a god that's suited to your personality.
Yeah, but you only get there unless you have like a guru and all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to get deep into this.
Yeah.
In order to find out who your preferred god is. I mean, where do they find these? Like, they just pick them out of. They have like at the library, the little card box. They're like, oh, this guy's greedy. Let's look up the G's, and then they find, okay, this one's available because the other guy checked that one out. Because I'm sure they had the picture of him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's so dumb.
No,
it's so dumb.
It's dumb. Well, at least we're done with it now.
Praise the Lord Jesus Christ that I am done with these Buddhists.
So now we'll do Satanism next week, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Satanismo. It's not what you think, by the way.
No, not at all.
Tune in next podcast. We're going to talk about Satanism. You might think that there's like two long-haired women around a big cauldron. It's not that. It's
some
something
of it
else.
might be that.
Huh?
Some of it might be that.
Some of it might be that, but not what we're going to talk about next week.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us. Please like and subscribe, as we said earlier, and share the video if you enjoyed. See you guys next week.
Calm, peace, and love for all. God bless.
God bless.